overall, I think you're doing really well with both of these pieces. So let's talk about them in the order that you played them. In the case of the Tchaikovsky, the main thing that I want to make sure that you do when you play the piece is that no matter what, you don't stop. Right? There were some places where you kind of stopped and what do I have? What do I have? So I think you want to make sure that you're practicing towards that goal. So it happens especially. It was around here. There was a bunch of places where maybe you just didn't quite remember, like which notes you were supposed to play. Or something. I'm not sure what happened, but can we do one time from here until there? Okay, those 4 measures. So no problem that time, except you had a little trouble just starting it. What I want to see is, can we do 3 good ones? That was 1 in a row. Can we do that? So we're not going to stop no matter what happens. We're not going to play it around. Let's see if we can do that. That's our goal. Okay, so that was number 1. Let's see if we can do 2 more in a row. So you stopped. So that's what we want to see as a goal. So it's fine that you didn't do it perfectly. That's why we're practicing. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see if we get 3 good ones in a row, including we don't stop anywhere in the middle of it. Okay? So that one we can't quite count because there was a little bit of a problem. You know what I would think is a good idea? Because this passage is a little tricky. It seems like this is the trickiest passage in this piece for you. And sometimes when we know that there's one place that's hard, that's actually good because we know the rest of it is okay. We can just focus on that one thing for a while. I think it would be worthwhile to practice the hands separately, especially practice the left hand separately. If we do the left hand by itself once, those 4 measures starting there, the same spot. Almost, right? There was just 1 wrong note. Let's make the same goal. We have 3 good ones in a row. So we have 1 good. Pretty good. I think you skipped 1 chord. We'll count that because I didn't even notice which one was. So that'll be 1. Let's see. Okay, let's see if we can do 3 good ones. It was just 1 wrong note. That's not bad, but we'll try to play it all right. Okay, so this is tricky, isn't it, right? So, as I said, the good news is that the rest of the piece sounds pretty good, but this place we have to get more consistent with it. What I want to do is try 1 more time and see if it works. If it doesn't, what we might do is we might just practice 1 measure instead of 4 measures. But let's try 1 more time, see if you can do the whole 4 measure thing. Just left hand. Really good. That's the first time. So let's see if we can do 2 more. That's really good. That's 2 in a row. Let's see if we can make it 3 in a row. Okay, good. That was really good. So we're going to add the right hand to that. I can tell you that you're lucky because my teacher, he would have me do this kind of thing, and it had to be at least like 6 times in a row. Sometimes it's like so long. I get to the 5th time and be like, oh, and then something go wrong the 6th time. It's like, no, gotta start over again. So, but the reason that we do this, by the way, is that if you were doing a different kind of art form, like if you were like painting a painting, or if you were writing a novel or something, then once you get it right one time, you're like, oh, that's the color I want there, or that's how I want that person to look in my painting. Then you're done. You don't have to do it again. But when you're a performing artist like you're performing a piece on the piano, you have to be able to do it not just like one time, but to make sure that like, can I do it when I have a concert and I'm a little bit nervous and there's an audience and those kinds of things. So we want to really make sure that we can do it well. And so being able to play it a few times in a row is usually like, okay, I think I know it. Okay, so let's try the same thing with the right hand now, both hands. I think it's much better. Pretty good. Only one problem in there. This passage is tricky, isn't it? So it's good that your left hand is better at it now. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see if we can get 3 in a row with both hands. We might get it now. We might have to wait till you go home. Okay, that's excellent. Let me tell you though that that's the first time that I've heard you play it right today. Those 4 measures, right? So I think that we've had a few times where there were never any like humongous problems. There was a little problem with this one, a little problem with this. This was the first time I heard you play well. So let's see if you can do it a couple more times. Excellent. That's 2 times in a row. Can we get 3 in a row? Okay, good. I'm not going to make you do it again now, just because you understand the idea. But I guess we couldn't count that one for 3 in a row because there was a little problem there. So, can you make as a goal in your practicing of this piece every day? Say, I'm going to and it's just those 4 measures. Your goal is to see, can you play it 3 times in a row. Now, if it's really like, oh, I've been trying it for so long, it's just not happening, then try the left hand alone. What we didn't do is we didn't try the right hand alone. That might be worth doing a few times. Then put them together. The more that you do that, then you'll really, really know it. And you're not bad. It's just that, like, we're just trying to make it that much more reliable, more solid. Okay. Okay. Now, a couple other things I want to mention. This right around here, these 3 notes, the triplet, that's what that's called, those 3 notes, is equal in length to this note. Dum, ba, da, 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 da. The 3 notes equals one of those. So sometimes you come in a little early, but I want to right? Can we try? Actually, let's start from the beginning of the piece, and because it's there too. Let's be really even with the others, okay? Yeah, so it's like by like a half of a hair. You're a little bit early. Can we do once with the metronome? Do you sometimes practice with the metronome? I think it would be, yes? Sometimes. Okay, that's fine. So we'll do it now. So these are going to be 8th notes. Can you make sure you really line up? So we'll just try the first line of the piece. Right. So you notice you're sometimes a little ahead of it. It wasn't bad. Okay, good. Let's do one more time. Almost all of them were together with the metronome. Occasionally. Right? Can we do one more time to be really, really good about being with the metronome? Okay, good. Now, let me turn the metronome off. Can you play it once without that, but can you be your own metronome? And make it a little slow, right? We play it a little, let's try it. So be really precise. Good. So what I would say is that you should also play this sometimes. It doesn't have to be the whole piece, just those first two lines of the piece with the metronome to get used to it. Because this note has very little and that note has a lot, sometimes you start a little early because you're like, I gotta play three notes. Has to be exactly the right time. Okay, good. Okay, now the other piece, the Debussy. Overall, it's going pretty well. There's a few places where you have like a rest, and it seems like it takes longer than it should, like this one. Can we play from here? I'm going to count out loud when you get there. Can you play do? Right. So if these 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right. So just it's long, but it's still not ridiculously long. Can we do it one more time? Yeah, so that's more like it. I think before you kind of stopped and you just waited until you thought it was a good time to start again, but we should probably kept that. Okay, there's two places, and it's actually the same thing twice, actually, where the pedaling, we need to be a little more careful with the pedaling. It's here. This is one of those. When you go from here, what we call that is this is one harmony, and this is a different. That's a different harmony, and we don't want two different harmonies in the same pedal, because if you do that, it sounds a little bit blurry, and so the doesn't sound so good, right? So what we need to do, right? Now you did change pedal, but you changed it maybe a little too soon, or something where we ended up with both of those harmonies, different harmonies, in the same pedal. So let's see if we can change pedal cleanly between there and here. Can we start from there? Or from that time was very good, yeah. So in fact, I can tell you that what happened last time, now that I think of it, when you put the pedal down, for this harmony, which is G flat major, by the way, when you put it down for that, you put it down just slightly too soon. And the result was that we still had some of the notes from there were still ringing. So that's what we want to avoid. Can we do it one more time? You did it well. I just want to make sure that that wasn't just by luck. So there was something in there that we didn't want, right? Because I think you put the pedal down too soon. So what I wrote is that I would say, why don't you put the pedal down there? Not during that note. You're still going to hold that with your fingers. Put the pedal down there so that we have time to get, and here, maybe no pedal at that one moment. So we have an eighth note of time to get rid of the old one and to get ready for the new one. That was good that time. Can we do it one more time? That was really good. pedal. That's good because that sounds okay, but we just don't want to. So let's try some pedal here up until that point. Then there's no pedal, then we put it back down. Can we try that? We're going to experiment a little. Can we try? Yeah, that sounds good. Now, you could maybe, let's try this. Again, I'm not sure. I have to tell you, when it comes to pedaling, I always have to try it. I don't know until I try it if it's good. I don't know. Do you ever cook anything? Not really. Yeah. So probably your parents do cooking for you. You don't have to do. But you know, if you are cooking something, it's good to be like to taste and be like, does this need more salt? Does it need more garlic? It's hard if you say it needs less salt or less garlic because you can't really take things out very easily. But anyway, it's good to try it. So I think I'm going to write this down in pencil because I might change my mind. I might need to erase it. Let's try pedal, pedal, pedal. So 3 different. So that we can also use them there. Let's try it and see what that sounds like. So don't put the pedal down for this, starting from that measure. That sounds pretty good. Now, of course, I did say I'm experimenting with the pedal because I don't know for sure. But you know, I've had a lot of experience playing pedal and playing the piano in general. So I thought that would work, but I didn't know. So we always have to try it out. This same exact thing happens later in the piece, right? So, but let's do it the same way. Okay, I don't have to write it down the second time. It's the exact same thing. Okay, now, Debussy. Do you know what country Debussy was from? You want to guess? This is a kind of a fairly common name, Claude. It's okay if you don't know, but you want to make a guess? It's somewhere in Europe where it's from. Yes, he was from France. No, so you're absolutely right. So you know the answer. So although he was from France, he was very interested in music, actually a certain kind of music from America. Which was like kind of, sometimes they call like ragtime or like early kind of like jazz, which is an American kind of music. And so he wasn't the other one, but he was like, wow, what is that interesting kind of style of music? We never heard that before. So he started trying to find ways to like put that in his music. So this word where it says a cakewalk, by the way, that's English, right? That's a cakewalk is I mean, I don't really know what it is, but it's a kind of old form of like ragtime. Like if you know the Maple Leaf Rag, it's a famous. That's kind of, you imagine like in a old Wild West saloon on the upright piano. That's kind of that kind of music by Scott Joplin. This is the. So they're kind of, you can imagine that they're kind of like going like dun 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 dun. It's kind of an old-fashioned kind of American dance, even though Debussy was French. So I think we need to have a little more fun. You sound a little serious about this, like, oh, it's Debussy. I have to like, but it needs to be a little. So can you have a little more fun with the piece? You can try. I'm not going to say more than that, but let's see what it is to make it more fun. So one of the things that was already more fun is to play it a little bit faster. So as long as you feel comfortable with that tempo, I think that's better. You should work on that. It could, in my opinion, be even faster, but you have to feel that you can play the notes that way. But notice it says forte. It's not. Right? So can we try, just as, again, an experiment, can we try a little bit louder and a little bit faster? Da-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Yeah. that sounds like, yeah, we're making music. You know, when we play the piano, it's not only the piano, but other instruments will be the same way. Sometimes there's so many hard things we have to work on to try to get, like, oh, I have to figure out the notes, oh, I have to figure out the rhythms, oh, what are these, look at all those like sharps and flats and this, you know, there's all these things we have to think about. And then we have to remind ourselves that actually what we're trying to do with the music is we're telling a story of some sort. That maybe sometimes the story is really obvious, sometimes it's not that obvious, but in this case, I think it's some kind of like fun dance that or maybe telling a story or painting a picture is another way to think of it. So after you go through all those stages, which I think that you did, of like trying to make sure, oh, do I know the notes? And by the way, there's some places where we have to, I have to practice it slowly, I have to practice with the metronome, do all those things. Those are all useful things to do. But then make sure, oh, what is this piece saying? So now I feel like I hear that. That's great. Okay, a couple of places where you can do a little more with dynamics. That's been one of the themes of today. With lots of kids, I can tell you, sometimes they think about all the other things they forget about that. This is not a big difference, but it is different. This is forte, that's forte, and this is mezzo forte. So I guess a little bit less. So can it be a little bit more? There, can we do one more time from there so we hear a little bit of contrast between these measures and all the other ones? Right. Okay, so this was kind of about the same. Can we be a little less loud? Okay, one more time. You just didn't remember to do it. Okay, can we do one more time? Let's start here once. Just start right there with in mezzo forte, whatever. Okay, good. That's good. Okay. Oh, and then da dum ba dum bum ba dum ba da 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 da. Right? Can you be a little bit surprising there? Let's start one more time here, and then surprise us with the forte. Okay, that's more fun because like right, you're like, whoa, what did you do? That's what the music should do to us in the audience. Okay, can we do one more time from the beginning? Let's see if we can make that surprise dynamic there and even bigger surprise there. Okay. Good, and then the next place is also mezzo. Keep going. Okay, good. You know what this reminds me of? I'm just going to ask you if you've ever seen this. You may not. There's a cartoon that I used to see when I was a kid. It was about this man who I think the cartoon was made when like my grandparents were little. So it's a really old cartoon, if you can imagine. It was like this man discovers a singing frog, and then the frog sings like really beautifully, and then but he's like, oh, he realizes like, I can make a fortune off of this singing frog. But whenever he brings the frog to like some like famous like, you know, movie producer, he just goes. So he doesn't do. But then when nobody is watching, he plays him. That doesn't sound really okay. So you may never have seen this cartoon, but it's a really old cartoon. It's just the poor guy, but he would sing this, and the frog would sing with like as if he was like Frank Sinatra or something. It was really, and then but whenever he put them in front of the director, he'd just act like a frog. So okay, anyway, but the music sounded very similar to this. So if you had heard that, that might give you some image that's kind of funny. Okay, so now this place, can we play from here officially? This part, if I'm reading Debussy correctly, but a forte, it's still forte. Da dee da dum, ba dee da dee. Then here, then it's quiet there. So can we play from here and let's see what happens if we keep the forte during that part. So see where it says crescendo molto? Yeah, so that's the bass clef. So this sounds pretty good. One thing that I don't think it's terrible, but it's a little bit surprising how that you play so long between this note and that note. Do, re. You can slow it down a little bit. You're going do, da, dee, da, da. So it's just a little bit longer than it's supposed to, because it doesn't say that you can get a little slower. Can we try once? Try and be a little bit. Just play that in time. Okay, good. The next section I think is the same as before, right? There's no difference. Okay, good. I think that you're in really good shape. I wanted to hear the end, and I don't remember why. There was something I wanted to say, but I forgot what it was. Can we go from there? This is the last time we have da da. Good. Maybe between the last two chords, you're playing a nice big sound on the last one. Can you also, the second last one, really feel like you're using your arms to help you make it? Can you play the last two chords, please? Arm, arm. Good. Oh, there's something cut off there. I didn't know there was something left. Okay, good. Yeah. Maybe also a little bit of pedal. Not a long pedal, but just because what it does, so the pedal, when it does it, when you press on the pedal, it lifts all of those, they're called dampers, so it allows the strings to ring, right? So instead of just stopping, it keeps ringing, right? But what you may not be thinking about is it also makes all the other strings in the piano ring too, so that this makes, when you play this one is, those other strings are also ringing. So you get a little more sound where there's just a little bit of, I don't know if you notice, I'm going, instead of, so can we try pedal for the last two notes of the piece? Good. I think you can hold it a little bit longer. Pedal up, slightly longer than what you did. Can we try again? That's pretty good. Now, in addition to that, you have to give everything you can with your hands and your arms. Can we try the biggest sound you can make? That's pretty good. It would be nice if we had only C, G, and E. So the one more time, let's see if we also play cleanly. That was good. The sound was good. Good. You know what? When you play these, in order to feel confident about playing the right notes, if you're going, who knows? But have your fingers there first. So I have my fingers on the keys before I... Can you try? Yes, yeah. Because you know what's good about that? First of all, it's nice to play the right notes. That's number one. But actually, when you feel really confident about it, because you're like, my fingers are on the keys, I know I'm going to play the right note, then you can actually play with more sound because you have more, you're not worried about it. Otherwise, we kind of like, not sure, right? So, okay, good. Sounding good. Okay, thank you, Barry. Good job.